How's it going, y'all? This is going to be a breakdown of the build that we're planning to play for the Diablo 4 Server Slam weekend. It is a Barbarian double swing build. This build in particular has really good sustained DPS, as well as not being reliant on multiple stacking modifiers for it in order to get its damage out. It is a good source of sustaining berserking, and the build as well refunds its own rage resource very reliably. On the flip side, it doesn't have particularly strong burst. It does not have the largest of AoEs, so clear is a little more on the weaker side in terms of large packs, but you are able to use your abilities frequently, and so you have really good uptime on just being able to constantly use your skills on mobs or bosses or elites. For this, we're not going to include any of the uniques into the build, just because the only powers that we know we're going to definitively have access to are the ones that come from the aspect dungeons themselves. So when you're looking at your build, you can take those into account, but the other ones, we don't know how reliably we're actually going to be able to obtain them, so we don't want to use those as part of the build. Jumping right into it, let's talk about the build itself. First up are the basic skills. While leveling, I'm going to take Lunging Strike to start things off. This is going to give us some mobility in the early game to move around from mob to mob as we go through the dungeons and the zones. From there, we'll take the first advanced node and then take the second option on the right for Combat Lunging Strike. This is going to allow for us to fish for Berserking procs early on. At the end of our build, once we're at level 20, we're actually going to swap over to Frenzy, and we're going to go and take the advanced node and take Battle Frenzy on the right second advanced node. This is going to give us an attack speed steroid for all of our other abilities per stack of Frenzy that we have while Berserking. And since this build revolves around sustaining Berserking, this is going to be a nice 25% attack speed buff for our other ability usage that is not our basic skills. Moving on from there, you're going to take Double Swing, of course. This is a double swing build. You're going to take that first advancement node. This is the key to the build for the first part. This is going to give you the ability to refund your entire Fury cost now that it's been buffed. Originally, it was only 15 of your 25 Fury, so you still lost Fury every use of it, but now they have changed it so that when you deal damage to a stunned or knocked down enemy with double swing, you will regain 25 Fury. So you fully refund the cost of your double swing. So this is going to allow you, even more so now, to sustain your primary damage on the targets non-stop. You literally won't run out of it. So long as the target is stunned or knocked down, you can just infinitely double swing all day long. All right, so this is a really nice change that has happened for the build itself. From there, you'll take the Furious Double Swing, which is going to be when you cast Double Swing, it's going to give you 2 additional seconds of Berserking. So again, early on, you fish for those early Berserking procs from Lunging Strike, and then you can Double Swing to get that additional duration rolling on it, which gives you some comfort room to have some time for Berserking to keep up. So that's going to be the first process going through from the core skills. Moving down on into the defensives, there are 2 important skills here to take. The first one being Rallying Cry, and you are going to take that first node of advancement for that Unstoppable. This is going to be a reliable crowd control break for you. And for the time being, we're going to take Strategic Rallying Cry. This is going to give you a very comfortable and reliable source of Fortify generation. From there, you will take Ground Stop. And because of the limitations on this beta in terms of points, we don't care for any of these back end nodes. I'm still undecided on whether or not I'll invest into the extra duration. I'll see if we need the time for it in order to kill targets efficiently. But for now, we're not going to take that 1 second durational increase from Ground Stomp. So you still have some point room there. Go up here, put an extra point into Double Swing. And now this is going to open up your Brawling skills. All right. From your Brawling skills, originally we did take Warcry. After the nerfs to Warcry, I'm a little undecided on whether or not we take this. You can go ahead and take it yourself and give it a shot. It was a nice way to proc Berserking as well for 4 seconds, but I have a feeling we're not really going to need that anymore with some of these other options that we have at our disposal now. We are going to take charge here. The reason for taking charge is it is a movement ability, and it is going to grant you unstoppable, so it will also double up as a crowd control break, which is very important. And it is going to knock targets back. If you choose to invest into it, you will be able to stun targets into terrain, which, again, when you stun a target and then you deal damage with double swing, it refunds the cost of double swing. So that has a nice synergy there going forward as well. But again, we are working with limited points. But fortunately, there's this fantastic thing on gear that we have that gives you +1 to skill bonuses. So there's a nice opportunity there for us to not have to invest points as much during this Server Slam event. From there, we are looking to take 3 points in aggressive resistance for damage reduction. This did get nerfed down to 9%, but that's because they gave Barbarians a flat 10% damage reduction baseline beginning at level 1. So they nerfed DR throughout the rest of the talent tree. So this used to be higher, but it's now 9% at the 3 ranks. And we'll take the Battle Fervor here, which is going to be when you use a Brawling skill, at least and hit one enemy, you'll gain Berserking for 1 second. So now Charge also is going to be generating Berserking for you. So you now have another source of proccing Berserking, which again was what we used Warcry for originally. So we don't really need that now. And since Double Swing extends the duration of Berserking, it doesn't matter that it's 1 second. We're going to be able to immediately extend the duration of it. Down from there, this is where it's a little up in the air in terms of what you want to use. You actually don't have to take anything from here. If you do want to take Warcry, you can. Or if you want to take Leap for another movement ability, you can. Originally, we ran Death Blow, but we were utilizing it for Fury generation because of the loss on Fury that we got from Death Blow previously. But since Death Blow is going to refund itself, there may not be as much value for us to take Death Blow. However, Death Blow is still very powerful on its own as an ability that resets on weak mobs. So not elites or bosses, but just the regular trash that surrounds them. So when you get some trash that is built up around an elite, being able to use Death Blow repeatedly on an elite and having it reset from the trash is a very nice source of DPS. And it does feel really good when it does have the damage or the attack speed bonus that is coming from the Frenzy attack speed modifier. That 25% really makes Death Blow feel pretty smooth. So for now, if you want to take Death Blow as your 6th skill, you can. We're currently going to try toying with the idea of using Steel Grasp this beta and having it also grant us a charge for Berserking here. So basically almost everything we're using is going to be a source of giving us Berserking. Might be overkill, and if it is overkill, we'll actually take the extra charge of Steel Grasp. I'm not a fan of Steel Grasp from the original beta testing because it felt really clunky. It didn't feel very smooth, and the animation kind of lagged out on me a little bit after the pull. It felt like there was a delay on us being able to follow up with an attack. So I want to try this out again, particularly with Double Swing and going for the whole process of Steel Grasping large groups of mobs, pulling them in, ground stomping and stunning everybody, and then double swinging everything that has been pulled to a central point, and doing that as a process for just doing lots of, quick burst sustained damage. And fortunately, this will give us an additional charge. So we'll have 3 charges of Steel Grasp, and it's on an 11-second cooldown, so that's not that bad. And it will also apply vulnerability. So that puts us at level 20 here. There will be additional points from the Renown, but when you're leveling through initially, you're not going to have all those points at the beginning. So we're just going to do it right here with the level 20. Again, we mentioned there will also be gear that will give you extra skill levels into stuff, but you cannot pick the advancement nodes unless you put a point into the base node yourself manually. If you would like to, from that point, you can look to invest additional points into battle fervor if you want to have more base duration from the battle fervor generation, or we can just look to put those extra 2 points into double swing all the way. The difference in double swing isn't massive like others. Like 4 points of double swing to 5 points is 3%. It doesn't scale super hard as an ability, so the difference between 4 and 5 isn't dramatic. You might get better value elsewhere in the tree with this current limited amount of points that we have available. So that's something to consider if we're talking about our maximum like 22 point total that we should have available for the Server Slam. So this is what we're looking at messing around with for the Server Slam weekend. If you have any questions about it or you want to check it out yourself, we're planning to be live almost the entire 48 hours of the Server Slam, just grinding out gear and running a double swing for as much as we can and seeing what we can do with it. So if you want to check that out, be sure to drop on by to our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Zav. We'll be playing the Barbarian the entire time. But that's going to wrap up our build for now. Thank you all so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like and subscribe. And as always, take care and have a good one.